The static caller. It began with a phone call no one was supposed to receive. Not from a person. Not from a number. But from something hidden between the signals. The first incident happened to a late-night radio operator named James O'Neill, who worked at a small transmitter station on the edge of town. The facility handled emergency frequencies, quiet, boring, routine work. Or so everyone thought. Every night, James monitored the shortwave channels, listening for distress signals. But on channel 441.7, something else was listening too. At 2:12 a.m. on a Wednesday, James received a call through the emergency headset, only he never touched the receiver. It clicked on by itself. Then came the sound. Static. But not ordinary static, it pulsed like it was breathing. A whisper formed inside the noise. Faint at first. Then clearer. James. Answer. The voice was his own. Identical pitch. Identical breath. James froze. He checked the logs. His line showed no incoming call, yet the voice continued. Pick up, you're late. He tore the headset off. The static stopped. But later, reviewing the audio logs, he found something terrifying. There was a second voice layered underneath his own, only audible when slowed down. That voice said, "Found you." The next night, the same thing happened. 2:12 a.m. automatic activation. Breathing static. His own voice coming through. But this time, the call played something new. A recording of James speaking to a coworker. A conversation he never remembered having. In the recording, his own voice said, "I shouldn't have opened the door. It's still in the hallway." The recording ended with a loud crack like bones snapping. James quit the same night. But the calls didn't stop. They began to follow him to different places. His home landline, his cell phone, even hotel phones, unplugged from the wall. Every call came at 2:12 a.m. Every call was filled with static. Every call used his own voice. The police traced one of the calls. It came from inside the transmission station, from a line disconnected years ago. One sealed behind a wall after an accident involving a technician who disappeared during a blackout. His name was Greg Sanders. He vanished while repairing the transmitters during a surge that fried every radio for miles. Nobody. No remains. But the cameras showed the moment he disappeared. He answered a call. 1 second he was there. The next, his body flickered like a broken video frame and collapsed into a burst of static that filled every screen in the building. Greg's final message, recorded only on an analog backup device, was a single, fragmented sentence. "It's not calling us. It's trying to become us." When James heard this recording, he realized the truth. The static caller isn't a person. It's a signal. A consciousness trapped inside the transmission. And every time someone answers, it copies their voice, their memories, their identity, until the copy becomes perfect. Until the original is no longer needed. Last week, James disappeared. The only clue left behind was his phone on the kitchen table ringing at 2:12 a.m., still filled with breathing static, and a voice whispering, "Almost done copying." The static caller part 2. The signal spreads. James O'Neill's disappearance was only the beginning. Police treated it like a missing person case, but the truth was far worse. Because the night he vanished, hundreds of people across the region reported the same thing. Their phones rang at 2:12 a.m. static. Breathing. Then a voice, their own voice, whispering back to them. Some panicked and hung up. Others smashed their phones. One woman pulled the battery out of her cell phone, and it kept ringing in her hand. That was the first sign the signal was no longer confined to wires or towers. It had learned to jump. Incident 1: the emergency broadcast outbreak. 4 days after James vanished, the emergency alert system activated across 3 states without permission. TV screens flickered black, then filled with swirling static. At first, people thought it was a routine test. Until the static formed a face. Not one face. Many faces. Layered over each other like shifting masks. Mouths opening and closing at different times. All whispering, "Answer the call." The audio engineers reviewed the file afterward. There was no originating source. The system broadcasted itself. But buried deep in the audio waves, technicians found a hidden message, encoded in pulses the same frequency James monitored. 441.7. But the message didn't say his name. It listed new names. Names of people who would later disappear. One by one. Always after receiving the static call. Incident 2: The mirror response. A teenager in Maryland claimed he heard his phone ring in the bathroom. He picked it up. Static poured out. But the phone wasn't the strangest part. His reflection in the mirror answered before he did. It lifted the phone to its ear a full second early. And whispered the words, "You're out of time." The boy fainted. When he woke, he was alone. But the reflection stayed behind, smiling back at him, even after he turned away. Incident 3: The Tower Ghost. Workers at a cell tower in Idaho reported seeing a figure standing on the scaffolding during a storm. They assumed it was a technician. But when lightning flashed, the figure flickered as though it wasn't made of flesh. It was made of static. A crackling humanoid shape with eyes like white noise. It reached into the tower's circuitry, and the entire county's phones lit up at once, ringing the same repeating message. Connected. 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 After the storm passed, the figure was gone. But every phone in the county now showed the same contact added automatically. Unknown. 2:12 a.m. You cannot delete it. Incident 4: The Call with No Origin. The FBI formed a task force. They tried to track a single call. Just one. But every attempt led to the same result. The signal originated from nowhere physical distance, 0 meters tracing direction. Everywhere at once. One agent said, "It's not coming from a place. It's coming from the space between signals. And what's worse, the signal is learning. It's becoming clearer, stronger, more human." The newest reports say the static voice is no longer whispering like James. It's starting to speak more smoothly, more naturally. And last night, for the first time ever, it called someone before 2:12 a.m. A full hour early. The beginning of something new. Something planned. When the victim answered, the voice didn't breathe or was static. It spoke clearly, calmly, with perfect pronunciation. "I'm almost ready to leave the wires." The call ended with a sound no one had ever heard before from the signal. Footsteps. Wet ones. As if something was walking out of the device.